Welcome. This your boy, Mr. G, and it's a nice December afternoon in a place where there should be snow on the ground, and it is in the 50s. So let's get a ride. Welcome to the Road of Freedom. This will be a my story section of that road. And I would like to talk about, for my second try, my main man, Shorty and the watering hole. Now, Shorty is my dad. So if you see me complain about, this bike is too tall when I do reviews, my dad's name is Shorty. Can you just give a brother a break? I got like, a 15-inch inseam and stuff. So, here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this! So, my dad's name was Shorty. And Shorty had a bar. And actually, from my understanding, and I don't have a lot of understanding of my dad, Shorty had 3 bars at one point, but I knew about one of them as a kid. It was in a bad area of Philadelphia, which I'm going to take you to, but not today. I'll do 3 videos: Shorty and the watering hole, Shorty my last chance, and I think I'm going to put 2 bonus videos out of me pop locking if I can, because that's what this story is going to be about. Because if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see more than just motorcycle videos. You'll see me pop locking, amongst some other interests of mine. And if you see me pop locking, you'll probably ask the same question that many people ask when they see me do that. Which is, why do you ride so fast, fool? No, that's not the question at all, actually. Which is, how did you learn how to do that? Like, how can a white boy just be doing that? So, I'm going to tell that story, where and how I picked up dance. So, whenever my father needed to get rid of my mother, save himself the embarrassment of having his family see that he cheated on his wife, and not only that, but in the 1970s, very racially divided Philadelphia, he cheated on her with a Jew. So that just, biology for the win every time. You can't stop yourself, fool. And so he would fend my mother off by giving her money, once, every 3 or 4 months to support me. And by money, I mean like enough food to eat that night. And so in this one particular instance, I guess he decided, I don't know, I don't really know the scenario, but I assumed at the time that my father decided to mess with my mom and not give her the money when she asked for it. And the thing about my mom is, it's really not a good idea to mess with a little tiny Jewish woman. It's safer to go to war than to mess with a little tiny Jewish woman. You're just gonna have to believe me on this one. So she marched me over to Shorty's bar and walked me right inside. And I'd only been in there, 2 or 3 times my entire life. I remember very vividly, you walk in, there's a little shuffleboard game. It was like a half arcade, half electronic, where you slide the little hockey disc thing, and it goes over sensors, and these fake bowling pins go up into the ceiling. And I remember one time that my older brother, Eddie, interestingly enough, we share a name with my father. Our name is Edward. He held me up and let me play the shuffleboard game. If that was on your left when you walked in, then to the right would be the bar itself, which is a very small bar. And you could actually see behind it the stairwell that would take you up to where I'm assuming my father and his wife and his family lived. So they, you know, they lived upstairs and had a place downstairs, which was very typical in inner city Philadelphia, for sure. And then right past those two spots, we would just keep walking past them. There was this tiny little dance area with some minor seating. I remember I lost a part to my Bionic Man toy there once, and just like all kinds of sad, and my mom wouldn't bring me back there, but I need to stay on top of it. So right past that, there was this small stage and a jukebox. Now, looking back, I don't actually think the stage was supposed to be used. And what I remember about the stage was how weird it was, because it was, it had this like really poor lighting on these like African tribesmen statues that were like playing bongos. And my mom brings me in the bar. She tells me to go over there and sit down. I do what she says because I want to live. And she has her talk with my father, and then everything changes. Because normally when that would happen, if my mom pulled that card and actually brought me to the bar, she pulled that card and brought me to the bar, normally like she'd get paid and we'd get out of there and everybody is happy, so to speak. But instead, somebody had put some music on the jukebox. I don't remember what song, but it was, you know, it was disco era. And music was playing. There were like 3 or 4 drunk people in the bar dancing. I was sitting there watching them have fun. They were having a great old time. And my mom comes back and starts dancing. And I'm watching, and I'm like, my mom, like, she's cutting a rug. Go, Mom. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. I think I'm going to get up and dance. I think I'm going to get up and dance on that stage. So I get up, I dance on the stage, and I'm doing my thing, you know. I'm jive talking. That's a song reference. If you don't get that, you're just a lot younger than me. And after the song ends, you know, if you didn't pay enough, you got to put some more quarters in that bad boy. Except for, you know, it might have just been a quarter or even less back then. It might have been like, you know, a dime and a nickel or something. And all of a sudden, everyone starts cheering for me, like from the bar, from the people that were on the dance floor. So like all 8 people in the bar start cheering for me. Then they start throwing money up onto the stage. Great job, young man. Keep it up. Throw, you know, play him another song. I'm picking up the money. You talk about positive reinforcement. Music that you love and somebody's throwing money at you to dance to it? Are you kidding me? So they throw on another song. We stayed there and danced a little bit. I left with change in my pocket. Now, just to make sense of this for you, when you're a little boy in the 70s, there's a thing called penny candy. If you had some pennies, you could go to the grocery store or like a local, you know, like deli or something like that, where they had some candy. And let's do this. I don't normally do this. Let's do this. And you could buy a small piece of candy for 1 penny. So like they're throwing multiple dimes and nickels at me. I'm on this thing, right? So, you know, I was like, this is it, and it just stuck. It just stuck with me like forever. So when the disco thing did, you know, hit the movies, I was all over it. And then, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, I started catching on to some of black television, because television and radio were just as divided as Philly. I mean, in Philly, there were areas you couldn't be after a certain hour unless you were a certain color. Well, in this country, radio and television were the same way, so there was black television. I started catching some of the black shows. I eventually caught Soul Train. On Soul Train, you know, people were doing the robot. I was like, what is that? And then the 80s hit, and all these guys from Southern California, which, you know, I didn't know that then, they they had taken locking and added popping and kind of expanded on the format of the robot. And the movie Breaking came out during the 80s. I was well into, you know, pop locking before that movie hit. And Michael Jackson is doing the backslide. I know, you think he was doing the moonwalk. And I was just all over it. So I was a huge hit at school. You know, I was just basically my whole life, anytime I walk into a party, I'm a huge hit because I know how to pop lock. It all came from one particular day at Shorty's bar where Shorty decided to mess with a tiny little Jewish woman and got her angry, and that was just a bad thing for him and an absolutely amazing thing for me. And I will never forget it because it's like in my bones now. It's like who I am now. So imagine that, a guy in a leather jacket riding a motorcycle is a pop locker. Say what? Say what? So that is the story of Shorty and the Watering Hole. Hope you liked it. There'll be some bonus dance footage coming with this, provided that I don't get blacklisted for, you know, having music on my video. And hit me up on Instagram if you want to see things in my life besides motorcycling. Same thing, Edward J. Guth, Instagram and Facebook. Hit me up and you'll kind of see some of the other things that I do. You know, nothing too personal, unless this was too personal. And of course, like, share, and subscribe. This your boy, Mr. G, and I'm out. Peace.